So if you're working on your paper with your 7 circles, we're starting to fill it up. You should be about halfway there. So we have friends inside and outside the ministry. We have professionals, a coach and a counselor. And now let's talk about the fact that every one of us needs a mentor. And a mentor is someone who usually is like a generation ahead of us. A mentor is someone who's like part sage, part philosopher. It's helpful if they're in the same area of ministry that you're a part of, but you can also have mentors who teach you about things that are other things in life. Like I had a mentor for sure who helped me spiritually. His name was Enrique Cepeda, and he was from Monterrey, Mexico. He taught me a ton about prayer and about ministry and really helped me to learn how to walk with God in some ways that I think advanced or accelerated my spiritual learning. So I love Enrique. He's a mentor to this day. I also had a mentor named Gary Burrell who was from the business world, and he was a part of my church. He's a wonderful leader, started a business that became Garmin. Perhaps you've heard of Garmin with the watches and the radars and the screens and planes and boats. And Gary helped me start the church. Gary and his wife Judy helped me and my wife Belinda start Indian Creek Community Church and walked with us through that whole time frame. I learned so much from Gary about leadership. And he was starting a business, I was starting a church. We met nearly every week for a long time. And Gary was a wonderful mentor in my life. Now, if you don't have a mentor, this is my encouragement to you, go find one. You may have to just straight up ask. Maybe it's a former pastor in your life, someone who knows you well. If you call them, they'll call you back. Maybe it could be someone in your city. Doesn't have to be a part of your church. It's a little more complicated if it is sometimes, but you need a mentor. And this mentor is going to always be there for you. And I encourage you to find one. So another circle on your paper is the mentor. The last one we're going to talk about in this section is you need an intercessor. Someone who will go to the mat for you. They'll stand in the gap for you. Someone that you can say, I have a meeting at 6 p.m. on Thursday night with my board. Would you pray? And you know they will. In fact, if you have the right intercessor, they might pray during the meeting for you. Even better than one intercessor, it's good if you have a prayer team. Now, here's the part that is complicated. You have to find people that you know they're going to keep the confidences that you share with them. But find someone who's going to put themselves in your place. What an intercessor does, and you know the story in the Bible, it's where Moses is praying while Joshua fights in the valley, and he has Aaron and he has standing there helping to hold up his hands. And they're helping him to do what he needs to do, because every time he has his hands up and he's praising God, the battle is being won. And whenever he gets tired and he slumps down, the enemy begins to make progress. So he finds people who will stand up and be his armor bearers. They'll hold up his hands, and you need that too. You may not find that person right away, but I would encourage you to pray that you will, and God will undoubtedly bring you one or more. As you share with this intercessor, what I would encourage you to do is take time every week or every other week to meet with this intercessor, talk through some of the things that you're praying about, and have them pray with you. And if that intercessor can also have 2 or 3 other people who become a prayer team, then I encourage you to give them weekly prayer notes of what to pray for. And then thank them lavishly and generously for standing in for you, and it will encourage them because they'll feel like they have a really important role, and they do. As you do this, what you're going to find is God will protect you. God will bless you. God will answer their prayers. They may have insights or words of knowledge that you wouldn't have. And many times they're timely and they're just exactly what you needed to hear. Sometimes they'll just remind you how much God loves you, and you need to hear that too. So a mentor and an intercessor, hopefully with a team, and now you've filled up 6 of the 7 circles.